Good evening. Let me check. Must be something in the air. Where's that? I'll hold it. So I managed to clean a few things out, and also found a vine that was trying to strangle a few things in the yard. Had to hunt it down and cut it down. Fortunately, I don't have the ability to rip it out, so I'm going to have to call on someone stronger, I think, to do that. Or get some better gardening tools. I've been seeing that plant pop up throughout the garden. Saw it trying to strangle one of my hydrangeas in a different area of the garden. And there's a couple more spots of ivy too. I think I have 3 different types of ivy growing, and some of it is very pretty, but if you give it the chance, it is going to strangle everything that you love. I can see the patterns of where it's tracked before and where it has been cut down. It has not been removed. I'm not certain how much of it was intentional or how much previous people who had this garden, how much they simply let be. Because it's definitely left its mark on this home. Ivy, that's a good question. I think some of it is hard to get rid of because you have to really dig it out of the roots. At least where I am. I know that there are some other plants that are heavily considered weeds, like bamboo. It's supposed to be a great barrier plant, but it is extremely hard to remove. You have to dig quite far to get rid of it all. And the same thing with mint. And strawberries as well. But I think in the case of the ivy, it's also a quick grower. So that is an issue. And I've seen it. Some of it's actually at my neighbor's. And you can see it's snaking its way across. You can see the plants just literally reaching out and trying to find the next thing to touch, the next thing to corrupt. That's how they work. That's why, for the most part, I'm trying to. If I have anything that might be particularly fast growing or particularly ambitious, I've been trying not to plant it a little bit. I thought I was growing some mint. I know well enough from past endeavors that I should not plant that. It should be in a pot. I've heard of people ending up with yards full of mint, which smells nice when you're mowing, but at the same time, a lot of people want grass, don't they? They want bluegrass. But again, grass is also hard to keep up. I've heard clover is supposed to be good yard covering. I think I might like to change to that, but it's not supposed to be very, or rather, it's only popular with a certain crowd. The ivy. Some of it is actually very pretty. I wonder if I can find some photos. One of them is the very standard ivy that you would think of when you think of, say, like a college campus, I think. But maybe that's also just, what's the phrase? For the area I'm in. it looks very, very standard. Okay, yes. Ivy has a certain look about it that a lot of people think of. Oh, English ivy. Okay. Let's find a good photo. Some of these are... because there's so many different types of ivy. Let's see. I'm talking about one type. And there are, as I said, 3 different things that I think I would call ivy, but I'm not entirely certain if they're all actually named ivy. The Warcraft Acre. But yeah, so this is my neighbor's ivy. The look of it. It's very pretty. It would not be the worst to have crawling up my home, but at the same time, the reason why it's crawling up is because it is finding holes and then making those holes worse. Which lets water in, which causes damage over time, which is why it is not suggested for the longevity of your home to let ivy or other plants grow up in it, on it. Water is the enemy. Oh, but I wasn't going to be talking about plants. I was going to initially talk about an RPG. This past week, I played my first combat session of Cyan 2E. And I say combat. What's the... combat? It was combat, but it was all grappling on my part. And I would say about like 75% of the combat involved was grappling. Because I was such a successful grappler. Grappling is a little hard to do in a lot of RPGs. Or when I say hard, it's hard to find a system that does it very well. I don't necessarily know if I like Cyan 2E, 2nd edition Scion's handling of it so far. Like rules, yes. I've done grapplers. I played grapplers in 3.5, D&D 3.5 and 5e as well. Those had different issues, but this one was relatively simple. I think the problem was much more so the limited amount of things that you could do while grappled. For instance, technically I was not able to disarm him, my opponent. However, I think the DM would have allowed me to in the end if I had asked for it. Instead, it was mostly limited to being able to drag them. Actually, I'm not even 100% certain if I was allowed to drag them. I was able to throw them, theoretically, take down, pin, or damage severely. And if in that game, that scenario, in that system, with the grappling, I was also able to basically save up my successes from one round and try to apply them next round if I was still in a grapple with that person, if I had not lost it. So it was interesting being able to, I suppose, pay my successes forward. It's not something I'm used to seeing very much. I can look real quick. I wasn't actually planning on talking about Cyan 2e. I wanted to talk about Cyan 1e. I have more experience in that scenario, in that game. But I suppose I could talk about both of them. I should probably also explain what Cyan is. Okay. Sign is an RPG where you play as... Let me switch the image. You play as the chosen of the gods in modern days. If you've ever read American Gods, Scion is very much... Oh! I don't have the image up. Oh, that's because I'm in studio mode. Okay. I didn't have the ivy up either. Sorry, I still have a bit off. But yes, Scion, you play as the child of a god. And in first edition, you're always the child of a god. I mean, you can ask the DM to not be, to have something special or some other connection, but it's pretty much written from the perspective of you're literally God's child between a god and a human in most cases. I think even for some of the gods where it really does not make sense. I think there were, what is it? 2 of the Indian gods. This is also something from like FGO. Not Kama. Kama's the god of love. Does anyone know FGO? Parvati. Parvati? FGO. So Parvati is supposed to be a like goddess of marriage, and she and her husband are extremely loyal to each other. And in order to have them in the game, they kind of threw away that a little bit. They kind of threw it away. But so you're playing as the child of a god in modern day times, and the entire rule set is supposed to follow you. I'm gonna paste. Yeah, grab. Copy. It's supposed to follow you from level 1, where you start as a mere hero, from levels 1, 2, 3, I think. You're supposed to be relatively low level. Then after a while, after you hit 4th level, I think, you become a god, or a demigod, a proper demigod. So Hero is supposed to be taking place roughly on Earth. However, by the time you get to demigod, it's much more about, I think, other places. Mostly because if you're a god, what is left really to challenge you on Earth, I would say. What did I... Don't want to touch any of this stuff. Alright, I only see one instance of image, and it's kind of a little scary here. The other image... Oh, that's where the other image went. Oh. Second one, you're much more fearsome looking. And actually fearsome. And by level 7, you should be a god. A god in your own right. I want to say I haven't actually played it up to that. We never made it past level 1 throughout our time. We were... in my campaign. The campaign that I played in, I should say. It's not like I was running it. We kind of went off the rails very heavily, very early on for our DM. And then one of the couples in the group had a child, and that kind of killed the campaign. Along with the fact that one of the heroes tried to sneak into an army base, and the DM was an ex-marine, so he played it very strict by the book for the army base, I think. Not easy for a level 1 player to try and wheedle their way into. Ion. by... Oh, it's actually the wrong order. Yeah, they got... so two characters tried to sneak into the army base. And they both ended up on a terrorist list. This was played back in 2013-ish. They ended up on terrorist lists, which was pretty bad because, again, we were level 1 heroes. And just barely getting our quest and our characters together. And we had to travel to Europe with two people who are also wanted by Interpol on that list. And the abilities given to you in Scion, when I say given to you, the abilities that you choose in Scion can be very, very powerful, but they can also be extremely lopsided. So every god has purviews that they are have attributed to them, and you're expected to some extent to reflect a little bit of your parent. So for instance, I'm going to guess at least the front two of these, the god and the demigod here. I just pop her out a little bit more. Her father is Baron Samedi, pretty certain. And so her purviews, the things that she has a bit of control over, one of them has got to be death. Death is a purview. And the very first thing you can do if you pick up some of the skills associated with it, and I should say that there's only... they call them dots. If you pay a dot in character creation or later, you can get an ability associated with death. The first level dot ability is Death Senses. You can see ghosts. You can look at a dead body and know what killed it, if it's not already obvious. You could tell, like, if someone's been poisoned. Not that it was arsenic, just that it was poisoned. That's the first level ability for the death purview. And let's see. I think that this person here, let me double check what who their parent was. I'm pretty certain it was a father. He was part of... Wish I could get a little bit of depth in this. It's not the sign of Horus. It's the sign of an Aztec god. Or I could just act... Oh, I'm already here. His pops was... Tezcatlipoca. I want to say actually that one's a really weak power, being able to see ghosts. You think it would be good, but it's extremely situational to the DM. There has to be ghosts for you to interact with. And honestly, someone with a medicine skill could probably also determine the cause of death just as easily. So let's see here. What does he have? He had our god here has Mystery 1, Prophecy 1, Magic 1. Mystery 1, Magic 1. Magic's probably... Well, Magic could be good as well. Magic was also a bit situational. I can tell you that if you had the first level boon for fire, you were immune to fire. If you had the first level boon for water, you can breathe water. You won't drown. You will never drown. This isn't something that you turn on. This is just something that is. This is a part of you. And that's a purview. A boon in a purview. Let's see what else is here. There's also special ones for each set of gods, each pantheon. So there's always something unique to your character if no one overlaps your pantheons. But if you don't overlap your pantheons, it can be a little rough to get together. Because what purpose would you have to be together? Such different areas, such different backgrounds. I know the first level darkness one, for instance, I believe, was being able to see perfectly fine in the dark. It's pretty nice, but when you have the ability to simply not be burned by fire, it feels a little underwhelming sometimes. For another one, the first level sky ability is you spend a point of legend, which I won't bother with legend. Legend's kind of stupid. You don't take fall damage, or you can jump like double as far. Then there's also Psycho Pump, where I don't want to say it's impossible for you to get lost, but it makes it much, much, much harder for you to get lost. You basically have a compass in your head. Yeah, water breathing for Scion 1, or Water 1. And that's only the first dot in those things. If you bought a more expensive boon, they thematically are appropriate to that purview, but at the same time they don't necessarily relate to what the previous one was. So, for instance, for the darkness purview, the first level is being able to see in the dark. This is free. Or rather, you don't have to pay anything to activate it, it just is. The second one is a shadow mask. You can basically cover your face in darkness, and your voice becomes an unidentifiable whisper. And that's it. You are unrecognizable to human eyes or electronic surveillance equipment, and your voice is also pretty hard to distinguish. That's your second level ability. It works for 24 hours every time you pay the cost to enact that. It's not quite related to the previous one. The second level death ability, for instance, or second 2-dot boon. I'm talking about Scion. Scion the RPG right now. It is, I should say. It's an RPG where you play as the child of a god. Yeah, they're all extremely well, I won't say they're all extremely situational. There are definitely some things that stand out a lot better than others. I should also say hi, Masuko. I've also wondered, I should have already know this, is it Trueno or Trueno? Because I always read it as Trueno. Mentally. Sometimes I have to fix it. The second level death ability. Basically, if something is already on its way to death, like it's not actually dead, but it's incapacitated with lethal damage and stuff like that, you can spend some legend to determine if the creature wants to die, and then kill it. You don't have to... How to put this? You don't have to obey their will. You can cut it, even if they don't want to die. And also, it doesn't work on Scions. But not 100%. And by Scions, I mean the Children of the Gods. Which is probably going to be one of your main enemies in the game, considering after a while, well, again, what can really challenge you but other godlings? What is the point of something like that? Exactly right. I mean, I want to say I actually picked it for my character because she was a child of Izanami. But it didn't come up. And that's probably for a very, very good reason. I think it would be very good for, like, very serious RP, but considering we were terrorists on Interpol list, it did not end up being a good fit for the game. They actually have a rule in here about that. Let's see. Oh, okay. You can roll to determine if you can listen. So you need to roll perception and empathy while touching the victim to know if they want to die. Animals usually answer in the affirmative, and Titan Spawn usually do the opposite, but human beings and Scions are unpredictable. But their willingness is ultimately immaterial, unless the subject is another Scion. In that case, it doesn't work on a sign unless they are truly willing to die. So I think it's just whether or not you want to. So as for like simpler animals, being able to, I don't want to say safely, but painlessly end suffering. Hello, kleine Roma. Oh right, so the first level of death was being able to see ghosts. Second one is being able to end lives if they're already on their way out. Third one is zombies. You can make a zombie. Congrats. It kind of flies in the face of the second level one, doesn't it? Again, you don't have to buy one, I think, in order to get two. Don't think. It's been a very long time since I played the game. It's been a couple of years that campaign ended. I'm very sad it ended. I wanted to see where it was going to go. Yeah, so the fire ones. First level fire boon, fire immunity. No cost, it just is. Second one, you can... It's called bolster fire. It costs a little bit to activate, but you can keep your torch lit forever. Or rather, for good number of hours. And you can basically create a candle flame out of thin air if you would like. Not enough to damage things, but just enough to light around you. The third level ability for fire, or the 3-dot boon. 3-dot boon. Really has been a long time. You can see out of any fire that's already within your line of sight, or one that you've affected with bolster fire, the previous ability that you can just keep a torch lit. So you can look through the fire. Which, in terms of godly powers, it does seem like something that... This is probably based on something in mythology that I don't know the reference to. But it does feel very situational and unbalanced, doesn't it? Okay, what's the third? No. Okay. Second level sky ability is you can fly. That's it. It's per scene, which means it's as long as the DM wants it to be, pretty much. I should also explain that they kind of developed this to be a bit feeling like a movie in some respects. They count sections of the game by scenes. I suppose it would be kind of similar to an encounter, except I would say for scenes there usually isn't any gap points where, in terms of like D&D encounters, there are a lot of things that people might not consider an encounter. For instance, just like traveling through a dungeon. Or the interstitials, I suppose. You don't really count that as an encounter most of the time. People only think about fights as encounters. A puzzle door, is that an encounter? It should be. But to a lot of people's eyes, it's not. But here, it might be its own scene, depending on how involved it is. Yeah. Yeah, Cyan was... I don't want to say it was well written, because it kind of isn't. Actually, I feel really bad. I remember being kind of very bored by the prologue in the beginning, too. In first edition. The book is standard White Wolf book where they have interstitials dealing with one of the characters. In this case, it's our cover boy, who is the son of Thor, because American gods. That's why. Son of Thor. And like other White Wolf games, it has 3 attributes. I don't exactly remember the 100% the terminology. I just remember that one of them was especially bullshit. Let me pop up the character sheet. Bring that up. I can... Yes, attributes. Okay. I'm playing Scion 2e, which has some of the same words, but not 100% of the same words. So... check. That's it. That's it. That's it. It's a very... So, we have the character sheet for regular Scion. And got a bunch of spaces here. So they do 9 attributes, and they're fairly well divided. In 2e, they try to, I don't want to say streamline it, but they have a secondary, well, they have the column, and then there's no real defining concept for the rows, but in 2e, they kind of, they make it a little bit more cohesive. So for physical, strength, dexterity, stamina. Social is charisma, manipulation, appearance. Mental is perception, intelligence, wits. This is also standard across, I want to say, maybe not all White Wolf games, but a lot of White Wolf games. This should not be unfamiliar if you've played werewolf or vampire, anything like that. Same with the abilities, too. But in the case of this game, one of the problems is dexterity is a god stat, and I will show you why. So they went with this cinematic concept for doing things, and that also included what they call a battle wheel for combat, which looks like this. And depending on how fast your action is that you're taking in combat, or how fast your weapon is if you're attacking, you can be multiple times on this wheel. I'll just pop it a little larger too. So you have the T to mark the tracker of where the DM is, where you currently are in this wheel. And everyone will be placed depending on the wheel, how long it takes their action to go off. So if you are an archer, it might take you 3 or 4 ticks on this wheel before your action comes up, because archery is slow business. But if you have a dagger or something, it might only be 2 ticks. If you have a really special dagger, something that is perhaps blessed by the gods, maybe it's only 1 tick between each dagger stab. So in the course of this action, we move the T symbol across the wheel, and everyone goes as the tracker passes through their section of the wheel. So you have this person who had the dagger, and they also might have a special ability that allows them to be on the 0, let's say. Excuse me. They use a dagger. They get pushed to 1. They use a dagger. They get pushed to 2. They use the dagger. They get pushed to 3. They use the dagger. They get pushed to 4. They use the dagger. And then the archer gets to go. And then the archer has to move 4 more spots back if they're going to shoot another arrow. And that person with the dagger, who's maxed out in dex, is still stabbing every single turn. That was one flaw of the battle wheel. I mean, thematically, it's kind of appropriate. Like, it should be faster to do some things, but it was far too abusable, especially with the fact that dexterity was also the primary dodge method, too. And if you had enough of an imbalance between your character stats, between your stats and the person you're attacking, you might not... If the person you're attacking has too much dexterity above you, they might be literally impossible to hit. All just because they maxed out in dexterity and ignored everything else. One I think is... 10 is supposed to be godly stat. Yeah, dex. Dex is the god stat, literally. So yeah, it needed a few patches. Just a few. Just a few little bits and bobs. It has the typical soak and armor and such that you would expect for a White Wolf game as well. Right, so this is the tiny little space where you're supposed to list out all your special abilities that you have that are supernatural and gifts from the gods. There are also like more normal ones that are called knacks, which went up here. And birthrights are things that were literally, I don't want to say given to you by the gods, but yeah, generally given to you by the gods. It could be that special dagger that your dad left, your dad. Yeah, the special obsidian dagger that your Aztec father left you. Or it could be... what else do we have in the party? Someone may have had a silver glove. Their father was Nuada. My character was such a chunigo. She had a false eye that allowed her to do the seeing ghost things and seeing in the dark things. It was supposed to be that if you didn't have your birthright item with you, you were unable to use the boon as well. That did not come up to very often. There are also virtues that you want to say embody a little bit as a god. But it didn't come up a whole lot. I want to say it was a very interesting system, and it could have worked well if it weren't just a smidge broken, and also maybe if the story throughout wasn't so boring. And also, I've been talking about all the first 3 level abilities. I've also heard that by the time you got to the end, it was... You become a manager, which I suppose is also true in a lot of late stage games. You have such powers that it doesn't feel like anything is a challenge, so it becomes more of a mental game, I suppose. A lot more fun at lower levels. Scion 2 seems to be a little bit better thought out in some regards. For instance, you can play as someone who is not actually a direct child of the gods. You could be simply created by the gods, or you could be blessed by them. Because there are some gods where it's distinctly noted that they're much more likely, I think, to bless someone than to have a child. Like, if you want to be the daughter of, Artemis, are you really going to be her actual physical daughter? Not very likely, right? Versus someone who is blessed by her. Or perhaps actually created by Hephaestus, since he is a god of crafting. Things like that. I think there are some very slight mechanical differences to that sort of thing as well. But nothing too extreme, and I don't think it would affect character building. I want to say character building in here is kind of... It's fairly fun, even if in play a lot of these things can be kind of cast aside. It feels like in a lot of games, crafting, for instance, that ability is usually a throwaway. But that also depends on the skill of your DM. But I don't even actually... Do I want to check? No, I'm not going to check. I think I've talked enough about Scion for now. Let's move on to Root. going from this to... Where's Otter? Oh, I have to unmute it. I love the music in this game so much. I know it's probably very repetitive, but it's just so cute. It's so thematic. It actually reminds me of Abigail. The second Science Second Edition was came out on Kickstarter a couple years ago. It actually split it into 4 books instead of 3. So you start as a human who has some very, very mild... say very mild. It has some very strong for a human, but still not quite godlike powers. And the character building felt fairly different. It felt like there was a lot less to look through. Again, that was probably also because your character doesn't have any special godly abilities yet. You cannot see in the dark. You cannot see ghosts. You are not immune to fire to start with. We are no longer talking about tabletops, we are talking about board games. It's board game time. Root. So this is actually a board game that is available now. It's been out for a number of years. It's extremely asymmetrical. I've already learned how to play as most of the critters in this. Most of the critters I have available right now. The first set is all... There's 4 initial groups to play as. You can be the cats who are in the newly crowned Kings of the Forest. I shouldn't say kings. Not presidents either. They're not elected. Newly minted dictators of the forest is probably a good way of putting it. They are industrialists. They're looking to make the most out of the forest, using it for logging, that sort of thing. The birds, which are actually not in this image. Actually, now that I look at it, just thinking like, this is all vagabonds, and this is all vagabonds. Vagabonds are basically your RPG murder hobo character. They go around doing quests and trading items with people in order to get what they need. And there's only one of them on the board. For the cats, there's like a whole slew of cats that can be on the board. The birds are the previous rulers of the forest. They have been beaten back temporarily, and they are looking for revenge against the cats. And then you have the foxes, the bunnies, and the mice. They are the Woodland Alliance. They are the underground rebels who are fighting against the cats and the birds at the same time. But they have to be sneaky about it too, because they're not quite as overtly powerful as the other two. They want to stir up rebellion. They want to stir up shit. And then they have expansions where they have automation rules, which is, I want to say, I don't know how well it translates to the online game because I can play against AI just fine. But for a board game, you do need the automation rules if you want to play it alone, because it is technically a 1 through 4 player game, with the inclusion of the automation, the automata characters. The cats are usually, well, the cats were the first automata characters. And the clockwork cats, I think? Clockwork Marquise. But first expansion that I have is the one for the river folk and for the scales, the lizard cult. Lizard cult, they have gardens, and they have cultists. And their aim is to grow their gardens and follow their own Byzantine rules. And the river folk are a company, and part of what they do is trading their services for money and victory points. Let me double check. There's also another expansion or two that are out. I don't have them necessarily. I don't know if they're also out on... Actually, real quick. A quick check. Yes, they have that group. So they have more vagabonds, more murder hobos to choose from. Hold on a moment. Sorry about that. I thought that one of the cats was having an issue. Okay, so vagabonds and clockwork expansion, riverfolk expansion. Okay. Exiles and partisans. I'm not entirely certain what that one is. I do know they came out with another expansion for essentially underground society. They have crows, I believe, and also moles. So one is a literal underground society, and the other one is more on the fringes of society. I don't know what how they play into the ecosystem of Root. But ecosystem is probably a good way of putting it. I've been describing all these different factions because it's a very asymmetrical game. If you play the Marquise, you have no idea how to play the Eyrie or the Woodland or the Vagabonds. Completely different. And that's why I'm taking my time to learn the Otters right now. They're my last one in the set that I haven't played in the digital version. I've played them once, I believe, physically. But with the physical copy, I'm more used to playing. Actually, I guess otherwise, I've never played the lizards with my physical copy, but I have played the other factions of it. But I probably have the most experience with the Marquise. Or the Vagabond. What kind of voice does the otter have? I want to make it friendly, but I also don't want to make it too friendly. Well, hey there, chum. Let me wash my hands real quick. They smell like clams. In the meantime, take care of setup for me and place 4 warriors in clearings along the river. Oh, what kind of accent is this? Oh, but they're so cute. Look at them. Oh, falling forward for the one. Okay. So cute. So they all have to go there. Oh, no. This is automatically determined. Can I place 2 then? Oh, okay. We've got the best services in town. At the start of their birdsong, your opponents may purchase services by taking warriors from their supply and adding them to your payments area. This is gonna be something. Riverboats, huh? Okay. So the special ability of the otters, I believe, is being able to travel along the rivers, which is important in this map. Because otherwise, some things take a little bit longer to get to. So, opponents can buy the riverboat, and they can buy mercenaries. Riverboats only works until the end of their turn. Mercenaries. During daylight and evening of this turn, the buyer treats riverfolk warriors as their own only for rule and for battle against factions other than the riverfolk. The buyer must split hits, taken evenly between their pieces and the riverfolk warriors, with the buyer taking odd hits. I guess to make sure that you're not screwing over... Yeah, you're not screwing over the otters too much. Making a fair deal. And the hand card. The buyer takes any card from the riverfolk's hand and adds it to their hand. actually. Payments. Wait, we can splash in the water? I've played this game like 5 times. I never knew that we could splash in the water. Or is this only something that you can do as a river folk? And the same with the woods too. Okay. Sorry, click, 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 click. Okay. So payment is down here. Those payments become the funds that determine the actions you can take on your turn. Okay. For discovery. I mean, just thinking about some of the other, like, tiny little things you learn about games and didn't realize were a thing for a while. And I want to say this is probably the... I haven't played an extreme amount of board games. Video games? Board video games? Video board games? Video board games. This one definitely feels like the most well put together by far. And also the fact that it has an AI that isn't 100% awful is great, because I've been looking at reviews of other games and finding out that, oh, the AI is dog shit. Well, there goes that game. There goes that game. I understand that some of them, it can be very hard to build an accurate AI. Or rather, for some of them, it's much more about feeling than mechanical superiority. So you can't really build an AI around that quite yet. But I'm hoping maybe with the advent of more, like the AI images, that kind of system, that maybe one day there will be a bot that's okay at Mysterium or something. Mysterium is the hard one. During setup and each evening, you determine service prices. Let's play hardball and set them all to 3. But then again, there's just looking at myself as a player too. Set them all to 3. I was playing Tonto Quarry last night to fill some time, trying to get past a certain point, and maybe I've just played against... I haven't played Tonto too much against actual other people. I've played more against bots at the stage. And by bots, I mean the AI. It's... It's different to play against actual people who don't know what they're doing. In some cases. I want to say, since COVID, I don't know too many other board game people in real life. Although, actually, I need to go buy... Let's see. I need to go buy tickets for PAX Unplugged. I also need to get a hotel for... And then there will be board games to play. Our service prices were so steep we didn't get any buyers. However, each game we start with 3 payments represented by warrior icons. Stretch. Hold on, I gotta get a cough out first. Okay. Okay. Oof. Back. Actually, I should also turn something else. But yes, I plan to go to PAX Unplugged, and I haven't been in, I think, 2 years or so. TSKR? What does TSKR stand for? Is that the noise I was making? Like, is that an onomatopoeia? That's how you pronounce it, right? Oscar? I know Japanese, but actually, I shouldn't say I know Japanese. I don't really know a whole lot. It's kind of a... I don't remember what that one is. Tascare? Thank you? No, it's not thank you. Tascare. A blessing? Ah, okay. Ah, okay. Ah. Yeah, I don't think I made it quite that far into it. We were more on making sure that we pronounce Shitsureshimasu correctly. And the shorthands. I don't know the shorthands. Although, actually, what today was supposed to be... I know that sometimes they have holidays that are based around puns in dates, and wasn't today a holiday of that sort? Actually, I say that and now I'm remembering. Oh, right. I think I remember the Twitter post. Yeah. I don't know what the pun is there. I don't know how do you say either the holiday or what the date is. So we have 3 payments represented by warrior icons. During birdsong, you move all payments to your funds to spend on actions during daylight. Daylight. Okay. You can move, battle, and draw cards by committing funds. These funds move to your commitments area and won't be available to spend again until your next turn. Commit a fund to the battle. The Marquise in your... Marquise? How would you say Marquise in like a kind of southern drawl? Marquise? Marquise. In your bunny clearing before they recruit more warriors. Okay. Oh, they're so cute in animation too. Like, feels like they did a bit more effort into these guys than some of the other critters. You ought to know better than to attack the Marquise. I don't remember the puns in the previous one. Just for the tutorial, I wonder. We have Blizzard Cult in here. Oh, we have Blizzard Cult in here too. Well done. You're more of a fighter than I expected. Recruit now in the clearing you battled in to replace the warrior we lost in battle. Otter. So aren't you glad Otter, you... Are you glad I didn't say orange? Recruitment is costly. Funds used to recruit go to your supply rather than your commitments. This means they won't return you won't return to your funds on your following turn. Supply rather than commitments. Okay. So you have to plan a little bit farther ahead. Oh, that's right. I was playing the birds in a physical game, and I found out that we had been playing the physical copy a little wrong, and only because I was playing the digital copy. We had misread at the table the rules on the eyries. You can only place 1 eyrie in a clearing. You cannot put 2 eyries in the same clearing. Or hell, even 3. Which is a lot more hurtful to the birds in many ways. But then again, I think the lizard cult ran away with everything, so... Oh, actually, no, it wasn't. It may have actually been the vagabond who ran away that time. We were helping the vagabond a bit too much in our fight between ourselves. Unlike many other factions, you don't draw at the end of turn. To draw cards, you must commit a fund to use the draw action. During evening, you may change the prices of your services. Let's hold a sale. Bring the cost of riverboats down to 1, and your other services down to 2. Those baked goods you have on offer look delicious. You're so cute. I want to say this game is also how I learned that the feminine version of Marquis, and also the fact that saying the S at the end because it's an SE. Like this is a feminine cat. Feminine Marquis. Female Marquis. Marquise. Your riverboats will be of much use to the cult. Blessings of the Scaled One to you. Oh, I just realized, hold on a second, I have to change something. When I didn't update it. I have to update something. Do it from here. Oh. The audio mixer and move something. When I upgraded to Windows 11, a lot of the audio settings got messed up. So right now it's playing the game audio through the wrong track in the end, which is going to be a pain. I have to reset it. To reset it. Settings. Don't upgrade to Windows 11. Learn from my mistake. Learn from my mistake. Is it right? Sir? Sir. Okay. This should work. No, it doesn't. This one? Okay, yeah. Hopefully you should be able to hear it just fine now. Not that you couldn't hear it before, just, again, wrong channel. It was going to disappear in the VOD if I didn't fix it. Our sale was a success. We have a nice variety of funds to use for our actions this turn. You can spend 2 funds matching the faction of a clearance ruler to place a trade post token and warrior there. So long as that clearing doesn't already have a trade post. Matching the faction of a clearance ruler. Uh-huh. Also really nice that it shows you the list of things. When you place a trade post, you score 2 victory points. Trade posts are used to craft, allowing you to score dividends and enable other players to buy more services from you. Each trade post you have built also contributes its suit towards crafting cards. Okay. You must commit a fund for each trade post used during crafting. You have a choice of which faction type to spend. Select either. Either. How do you do that with a southern drawl? Either. Okay, gotta open that mouth. What's your call? I feel like there's probably a clear choice here. Oh yeah, I'll do this. Us river folk are great swimmers. We treat rivers as paths during movement and ignore the ruler restriction when moving through rivers. That last part actually is really good. Like, ignoring the ruler restriction. There's a lot of times in this game where you're limited in movement. The cat, for instance, if I wanted to move that cat over here, it's fine. But I would not be able to move... Oh, well, imagine the river was a path. I wouldn't be able to move that one lone cat over here because I'm not in control of this area and I'm not in control of that area. The cat either has to control where they are going to or where they're going from. One of the two. But the fact that the otters get to ignore that is pretty good. Let's move 2 warriors along the river to our trade post to protect it. Bit funds. Ah! Right, the cute little animation. It's kind of sad they don't show them, like, actually swimming exactly. It's just the riverboat. That Marquise workshop is vulnerable. Attack! From trader to trader, I see. You will pay for this, river scum. Cats. Okay, let's leave our service costs alone for now. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Thank you for the head pat. Hold on. Hopefully by the end of the week the cough is gone. Each enemy is allowed to buy one service from you a turn, plus an additional service for each clearing with a trade post and one of their pieces. Okay, so it's been popping up with Outcast because that's important for the lizard folk. It's one of their things to watch out for. Like, lizard folk is extremely sneaky if you're not paying attention to them. Basically, talking about Ivy earlier in Weeds, lizard folk are very much the weedy faction. There's generally certain rules about how you should set up the game depending on what factions you have, but you should be picking factions a little bit dependent on how many players there are, because some combinations just simply won't be very fun. For instance, it wouldn't be a very good idea to have the cats playing alone against the vagabonds because they have such different aims and there's no inherent conflict there. But it's okay to have the cats against the birds. That's perfectly fine. It's a great combination. I think cats and alliance is also fine. But I think that, like, having the merchant folk here being one of two groups mechanically wouldn't really work, especially because of how they go about things. There's only one potential person to be helping, and they are your lone enemy, versus here where you're playing these two off each other and hoping that you'll be able to scrimp by. Or, in this case, it actually might be that the cat and the otters are... Actually, I guess because you're the merchant group, you're actually the third-party faction that's trying to sneak by. By being just helpful enough, maybe they won't notice the points racking up in the background. Each time a trade post is destroyed, we lose half our funds, rounded up. Let's recruit another warrior to make sure our trade posts are well guarded. Yeah. Trade post are. I think this is probably. It's only, I want to say, the second error I've seen. And the fact that it's only a typographical error is something. But the first one was a bit more of a not mechanically disastrous error, it was more of a visual error. Okay, recruiting another warrior. Wow, the lizard folk are really buying our services, I guess. During our bird song, we score dividends so long as we have a trade post on the map. Dividends score 1 victory point for every 2 funds we didn't use on our previous turn. Pass the turn to save funds for dividends. You've got quite the instinct for trade. Go ahead and set the services however you would like. Like, do I set riverboats to 2? Is it fine being just as cheap as it is? I'll keep it as. They're skittering over into the corner. Skittering. The little hood's popping out. That's also a mechanical, yeah. They're being sacrificed. That's disastrous. So the point of this... Oh, quick. Okay. Never mind. Looks like we didn't receive any payments this round. No matter. You move 2 warriors from your supply to payments as a consolation prize. Us river folk are innovative crafters. Instead of resolving the effect of a crafted card, we can add a warrior to our payments. Use the export button to craft for this reward. Yeah, we'll do that. We have plenty of these. Establish another trade route and score 15 victory points to prove us river folk are more than mere merchants. Actually, I'm going to be right back for a minute. There's something I want to check up on, but I will leave you with this for now. Okay. Sorry about that. Let's see. I also got myself a refresher of tea at the same time as well. Although it's a mint tea again, and it feels a little tingly, I guess. Let's see. So first time off the rails-ish with the otter folk. I really wish I did not update to Windows 11. Everything feels just a little bit sluggish. It didn't feel quite like that before. And nothing should be sluggish at this stage. Also, dang, I'm only down to 1 card. Okay. In Birdsong, we discard this to score 1 point per clearing you rule, but ruling clearings is not strictly what I want to do here. But just check out the card here for my group, my faction. Riverfolk Company. For sale. You have a public hand. Okay. It doesn't really... it doesn't hurt, I think, necessarily in an AI game. Actually, this feels like the perfect kind of one to play for... if you're playing against other actual people on stream. Playing Riverfolk, because your hand is already public. What does it matter if it's on stream? Oh no, you can see the exact numbers of things, which I can already see if I click up here, I'm pretty certain. But I can't usually see the hand. Now let me double check. Okay, swimmers. Immense funds, commitments. Crafted items. And... 5 angry otter boys. And 1 card. I should also specify that in the physical copy, this is literally a board that you sit in front of yourself. And you already have the huge board for playing on as well. Everyone gets one of these, and it's double-sided. Although one side is all about setup, so you only have to use it once, because the other side has the chits and stuff that you need to put down on these markers to keep track of what's been used, and where these little guys are, and where any crafted items you have. And it also has, on that same side, the turn order. But yeah, there's so much setup to the game. I should say so much. It's not like the worst thing I've ever had to set up. But for a quote-unquote lighter game, I would say, like medium? Something that you can theoretically bring places to play. Having one entire side of the board being dedicated to how to set up your specific scenario is something. Birdsong. Payments box is empty, so you're always guaranteed something, right? Score dividends, trade posts, score victory points per trade posts. That echoes a bit of some of the other factions here. You do not score points for warriors in the payments or committed boxes. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. You don't get 2 free points a round from the thing that you just put in there in the previous part of the turn. Move all warriors from the faction board to the funds box. Daylight. Commit or spend funds to take action. In evening, discard down to 5, set service costs. So, actually really simple looking compared to some other ones. But then again, like, I guess this doesn't look so bad either. Just feels like there's a little bit more to consider. Cult people. Okay, yeah, the cults have a bit more. Cults have a bit more specialty actions in here. You can see sacrifice at the end of daylight. So, stage. Actually, I don't want to move. I thought that these had hover states, but I guess not. This a warrior. For a trade post. Where can I put them? I mean, I can actually just look. So I want more trade posts. Just going to like double check. How do I earn victory points? One victory point per 2 funds. For 2 funds. Okay. Trade posts and monies. Where can I put it? I mean, doesn't feel very safe. It doesn't feel very safe. Oh. It costs 2 lizards, but I do have 2 lizards, and that's more so my limiting factor here. I'm gonna place a trade post. Now we are tied. Now we are tied. Draw a card. Code breakers. Just thinking. No, I can't use that one. This is great for an AI game. And this would also probably very much suck if you were playing against a... If you're playing a 2-player game that's only with the otters here and another group. Because the otters already have a public hand. Let's see. That was... Oh God, it was such a wasteful draw. It's kind of a, do I save my money? Do I? I feel like I need to draw back up like one more. A crossbow. And it needs a fox clearing. I don't have any fox clearings, but I can work towards it. 3 there, 3 there. I kind of want to move some over there. It's gonna cost stuff. Where? We're gonna place one there. What's that? No, I think I'm going to leave it this cheap. Going to leave it that cheap. I do want to encourage them to use my services. Let's see. Revenge. I have to constantly remind myself in this game that it's not about winning battles necessarily, or controlling territory. It's playing to your faction. In person, when I first played, it was very much getting caught up in trouble and not quite necessarily paying attention to... Not paying attention to this. There is points to be won in battle, but you can get by without. They bought all my cards. I think I might need to actually make that cheaper next time. Or not cheaper, more expensive. More expensive. I don't need to make it cheaper. I don't need to completely run out of cards. Holy sh... Wow, okay, they bought a lot of stuff. Bought a ton of stuff. Wow, okay. And... oh, it sucks. Can't use that clearing. They've already built a garden there. Don't know how to easily... I don't know the effective way of playing completely against a lizard folk cult yet. Should definitely be looking at this. Hold on. Build cards. Okay. Wait, there's more? Okay, that's why. So between bird and fox takes precedence. I should also specify what Lost Souls does. Lost Souls determines, I believe, what the outcast is going to be. So the other players adjust it in a way. But again, you're kind of not just planning your own hand, but your enemy's hand as well. And I don't have that down yet. Actually craft, I guess I can craft it, but like, what's the point? It's not worth any points. What's this? Trade post again. Wait, I can actually... Ah, I can still build a trade post places. Neat. Really wanted the fox one, but I don't need the fox one anymore. I'm going to actually... Actually, if I just do this... Just do this and take a look. I can steal a card from someone, and it requires 3 mice. I only have 1 mouse. I only have 1 bunny too. I need to start building more trade posts. 2. And I'm going to... Something about needing... There's nothing about needing to control an area to put a trading post there. Excellent. This feels like cheating. I wonder if I can craft now. Can. We're gonna craft this. Except there's no vagabond. At least I got points. And that got me just enough points. Okay. Just enough points. The basics. I'm going to do a challenge. What kind of challenge is there for do classic? I might do classic game, but I'm also going to look at the options that are available for the expansion, specifically for the otters. So they actually have some really neat challenges in here that can turn the game sideways. For instance, a pacifist run for vagabonds. changing the win condition for the Eyrie. Now, there was one that was actually kind of surprisingly difficult. It wasn't medic, it was very specifically a cat-based one. Builder. Starting with 3 sawmills and 1 warrior, as opposed to a warrior in every clearing. It makes a big difference. It makes a huge difference. Okay, and I already did one of the... Yeah, I already did the Grand Garden. That felt really easy. Gone fishing, huh? At the start of each of your turns, fish appear in rivers. When you move through a river path with a fish, it becomes a crafting piece in its suit color until end of turn. Its color? So is it just like a completely random colored fish? But it's kind of neat because it only benefits you. Unless it also works for the players who are using your river boats. That could be something. But I won't know until I try and play that one. Angry otters. Defeated enemy warriors are added to your commitments. Enemies won't purchase your services. You start the game with brutal tactics in play. Enemy won't purchase your services. So it's kind of a case of enemies meaning people that you fought. So once they will buy it up until that point, but after that, no more? Or will they simply never purchase your services in the first place? Are you enemies from the very start? It is something to consider. And that is something that actually affects the Vagabond too, I believe. Vagabonds, because of their singular nature compared to the other factions. And because of their trading nature already in the game, they also have a little cute chart to keep track of their relationships with the other factions. How many times they've cuddled up and traded items. And you can also battle as a Vagabond, so if you attack someone that you've previously been helpful to, it lowers you on the chart. You can't score victory points shipping Empire. You win immediately when you have a trade post in each river clearing. That would require me to know which ones were the river clearings. Huh. Okay. Actually, okay, there's three for each that they made up. So I think they actually kind of balance it out here. The last one there, controlling the river clearings, felt a bit like the Grand Garden here. But I think I'm just going to go for a classic. Oh, I can't play as them. Okay. I think I just am going to play a single. So cute. So angry. Angry otters. Okay. And then we have the AI. Actually, can I have it set to random? Yes. Do I dare? If I set it to the cats, the birds, and the vagabond, it's a pretty balanced grouping. If I set it to random AI, it could be Lizard Cult, Vagabond, and Woodland Alliance, and that would be really bad. That would be really bad. I think that would probably be like the worst option. So Lizard Cult, Woodland Alliance, and Vagabond. Yeah, that would be the worst. We'll try it. We'll try it. Actually... Wait. Or I could do Clockwork. On a map. Standard deck. Okay, I'll play on medium. It's more so. Actually, really quick. Does it show angry their faces are? No, it doesn't. Okay. Okay, lots of things at once. Water? Water, water, water. Actually don't have water. I have mint tea. Mint tea today. And posture check. Okay. Actually, I just realized like everything's a little bit askew. I was doing an ASMR reading stream and I shifted my table a bit to accommodate, and I think everything is very slightly misaligned now. It's very unfortunate. I have to figure out a better solution to that. Instead of literally moving, well, not all my equipment, but a lot of equipment around. I think I'm going to need to do that anyway, eventually. Looking at the map and looking at where sound bounces. Why is there... Oh, the birds aren't on the map, that's why. Oh, so this is actually a very traditional game setup. This is actually very helpful. It feels a bit wasteful that there's no vagabond to pick up items, but then again, that's also kind of hurtful. Or not hurtful. Helping someone else earn points by doing that. Thank you for the redeems too. And also thank you for the head pat, X. Is it okay if I call you X? Or is it should it be the full title? Full name, X and Nobody. That was 34 minutes ago. It's 34 minutes ago. I'm so sorry. Let's see. River clearing. Okay. We're starting warriors. If I can be away from the birds. That feels... Actually, no. I want to actually be not terribly far from the birds. Don't want to be terribly far from the birds. Because I want to be there when they fight. River boats are going to be cheap. Mercenaries are going to be here. I'm going to actually set... I'll set it this way. I'll do that. Wait, no, actually I'm going to move that up to 2. 2 across the board. 2 across the board. Wait. Already? They already bought a card from my hands. Mm-hmm. Two roosts. I wonder if we'll start a fight over. No fight yet. Too slow. Too slow. So who actually is their ruler right now? Can I see? Can I see who their ruler is? Ah, okay. Not seeing the big vulture right here. Okay. So their focus is going to be on battling and moving? No, not battle actually. Because they don't have a battle decree. Oh, right, so it's build and move for their for this guy's specialties. I can tell because out of the 3, it's the only one with the birds on it. So every leader, I think there's 4 of them, gets a different combination of basically free actions that they must take that turn, but they can take them anywhere. Otherwise, every turn, the bird has to put down at least 1 card into one of these slots, and they must do that action in that type of area that turn, and for every turn afterwards in a specific order. I don't think order matters actually, but it's a very careful balancing act. And if you cannot commit any one of those movements, you lose points, and the leader changes. You go into turmoil. But right now, it's move and build for the Despot. Despo? I don't know how to pronounce that. Choose an action. Okay. Have travel gear, boots, and better burrow bank. That'd be good to have. Both of them are bunny too. It's kind of nice. It's also really cute that they have a little marker here for, like, I guess I can surf on the water here. Do they? If I zoom out enough, it changes the icon. Actually, no, they don't change. I mean, they changed the icon, but the character's still there. I was under the impression for some reason the character was removed and it was simply replaced with that icon, as opposed to the character simply being blocked out. I guess it makes more sense this way. Okay, I actually have a recruit or establish. I built one here. And I'm actually going to draw a new card. I would really, really like to draw. Or wait, I can. Oh, I can craft the travel gear. I'm gonna do that first. It's kind of a case of. Yeah, I'll use the wild card to do it. And draw or recruit. I could also just do. I have the money. I have the power. There's only one cat there. It will be fine. If I planned out a little bit better, I could. Card left. They're gonna take the card. It's not gonna be worth anything. I wonder if they'll pay it. I wonder if they'll pay it. We'll see. We'll see. If they're actually willing to shell out for it, it'll be worthwhile. Actually, I probably should have set it up to 4. I was thinking about the worth of a third versus second. Let's see. What's the cat going to do? And it's not going to buy? Oh, they're busy craft. I guess they did buy the cards, so they needed to craft them. Outrage. Yes. The whipping noise, the whipping noise. Oh, because I'm so far zoomed out, you can't see the cute little animation. They're gonna be— oh, there's a fight! The fight. We missed the fight. Okay. Oh, action time. And craft? Craft. I'm going to craft. Don't know who to help. Not that it really matters at this stage, but I'm gonna drop. Brutal tactics. Actually, I'm gonna real quick check. Okay. Should be. Well, I'll drop it down. I'll drop it down. They can use my rivers. I don't actually think it's beneficial right now for them to use the rivers. I don't think it's particularly beneficial for them to use the rivers at this stage. And I lost my card. I lost my card. At least I'm not lagging behind too far in points. Thank you. Just playing root. Trying out the merchants, seeing how they play. I set it up to randomize my opponents. However, it didn't give me the perfect balance, but it gave me like the traditional balance. So I'm basically a vagabond replacement here. kind of wish there was a way to set it so that... Whoa. Yeah, I kind of wish that there was a way to set it so that it would automatically change the focus to follow whatever the current action is. The smaller level. Just crafting cards. Yeah, I'm gonna use it. Who else gets it? Woodland Alliance gets it. Oh! Fruit tea. Sweet. More points. How to make do with what's given. I mean, the other option was that the lizard cult was introduced. It could have theoretically been like the worst grouping possible of like Woodlands Alliance, Vagabond, Lizard Cult, and Merchant Group, because they're all foils to the main group usually. Like Woodlands Alliance, that game would probably end up being Woodlands Alliance and lizards fighting each other. And I don't know how well that would work out in the end. Because the Vagabond is not directly attackable. Exactly. Not super directly. And we're also supposed to be very much a third party, since we are basically relying on the, I don't want to say kindness of others, but the interests of others, if their interests align with ours. They are paying us to use some of our special abilities. That's how we win, eventually. Building trading posts, and we get to do that by having them buy our shit. Let's see. I should probably be recruiting more, honestly. I can't... Let's do that. Okay. Like, this could be where a fight is. That could... I want to say, let's start a fight. Okay. We're not going to directly start a fight. We're going to try and make sure that if there is a fight in this area, that we get a piece of that pie. Also, I need more cards. I need more cards. It's so bad. Wait, 3? Excellent. Okay. Just place another one here. Don't know what I want to do with these guys. What do I want to do with them? Real quick. I think that moving... Wait, actually, they're not outraged yet, so that's fine. I wonder if I could move stuff there, because that is like 100% going to be a fight. Move 2. I only need to commit 1. Also, fox. It's going to cost me my root tea, isn't it? Or it's simply that I cannot pay the cost. That's much more likely. I don't have a spot for it. I forgot that symbol is going to me. It's the first time I've seen it since it's a... This is specifically for this faction. A bit of fun to move. Yeah, so like, what does this mean? What does the cost mean? Move 2 over there. Okay, yeah, it cost me my card. Well, lesson learned. I should have expected it to be outrage, honestly. But it's not exactly like I can earn the earn the niceties of the other 2 eyes by jumping on that bomb of outrage from these little fucking rats. I shouldn't even call them rats, they're mice. They're not rats. I'm sorry, rats. Rats are probably a different expansion, or they're a vagabond. Okay, let's see. Battle, recruit again. The cards. I need cards. Card. Yeah, let's just spend everything else on cards. Is it so funky? Okay. Do I keep it this cheap? Yes. Yes, I do. I have sand and deliver. Okay. May take a random card from another player. That player scores 1 point. Command Warren may initiate a battle at the start of daylight. And Royal Claim. Need to lay down a few more things. A few more trading posts. Whoa, okay. Okay. That was razed to the ground. Wow. Okay. I hate the Woodland Alliance so much. I hate them so much. These bastards. Mice bastards. Every last one of these little fuckers. Okay. I'm not going to have enough points. My point is not to genocide them. I am enabling others to genocide them, and that's what's going to happen in a bit. I'm probably actually going to change my turn again, or change my tune again after the Irie goes. We'll see how they go. It's like, well, last turn I helped out the Woodland Alliance because they had the least amount of points. And they might still actually end up that way. We'll see. Hopefully. Although, I was just bought as mercenaries over here. So... I am kind of getting my hands dirty. It's for money, you understand. It's for money. The Irie are the worst off right now. Because they could not build. Wait, they couldn't build in any clearing? That's right, they did have the free space building ability from their leader. Who's their new leader? Charismatic. So his free spots are recruiting and battle. Okay. Going to use this, and we're going to use it on these guys. So I have a lot of space, and I need it to build some trading posts. I'm gonna build one there. It's points. I'm going to build one. Okay, I have to build in cat territory. Where do I think there might be a fight? Where do I think there might be a fight? It's more of a... I have those two. Can't build it here because I don't have any bird cards. So this is the next best option. I think. I feel like the battle could move in that direction. It's interesting to see how things have changed. Okay. And I have 2 more left. I can move, I can recruit. I only have 6 people. I can craft. I have 2 bunnies and a mouse. No, I have 2 bunnies and a fox, actually. So I cannot craft that. I can't craft that. I can have this. Oh, but it's just kind of a... I have to spend a fund to do that. And do I want to spend a fund to do something that I probably won't do? No, I think I'd be better off selling that to someone else and recruiting. But where? At least that doesn't cost me anymore. I can only recruit at trading. Don't have any. There's gonna be a fight here. Actually. It's gonna be a fight. I'm gonna put the other one here for now. You're done. I think this is good. I think this is good. I have to set my prices at the end of every turn for what people can buy from me. They can buy travel between the waterways, They can buy my mercenaries. They may be used in battle, but they may also simply be used as basically standing around bodies to look tough. Bodyguards, if you will. And they can also buy cards straight out of my hand. My hand is public. Let's see. 15 points, okay. I clearly do not have a great grasp of the merchants yet. At this rate. I need to... more trading posts. And only one... Oh god, only one thing to do. Only one person bought my services. Sucks. I won't be able to establish a trade post. They already went into turmoil. Really? So they are move and battle. Oh, I was muted. Yeah. Command foreign is command foreign. No one wants it. Stand and deliver. I don't want to give anyone else points at this stage. Looking at another player's hand, I haven't been able to give this card away. And cobbler, Charlie, 2 bunnies. I can build this. I can build this. That's literally all I can do, but I can build it. Oh. I grabbed the wrong one. I meant to do the cobbler. Can I... Wait, I don't have 2 bunny? But I have 2 bunny. Oh, because I'm not in control? Okay, never mind. Never mind. So I'm not doing that. A recruit, I can battle. I'm gonna move a few of these guys over here. Actually, wait, no, it doesn't matter. There's a fight going to be there. There's 100%. I can use the river. I can use the river. I'm gonna move a bunch of them over. Let's see them. Oh. Oh, and they get to pick a random card. Okay. Sit and pick cobbler. Options to take. Oh, mercenary. Sand. I'll see where this leads. I will see where this leads. I actually don't have any more... Ah, this sucks. I need more points. I'm not playing to my needs. I just need to sell more shit. I need to sell more junk. Why aren't they buying my stuff? For the first time, I played a new game last weekend. It's called Abyss. It was... a little bit of a talked about when it was originally released because they did something really engineering genius, quote unquote, probably not engineering, marketing genius, quote unquote, or like just kind of dumb for consumers where, at least for the Kickstarter, actually maybe not just for the Kickstarter, for a lot of it, if you ordered it online, you would get one of 6 covers for the box. And I want to say most of the box, some of the box covers obviously looked a lot better than the others in terms of appearances. They each had a different character on them, and some characters were more popular than others. And I've finally got to break out a copy. It seems kind of fun. I didn't get to finish a full game, but it seemed like someone was starting to run away with it a little bit because they got very, very lucky on a draw. Yes, we're gonna use... Wow, okay. Use it for these guys. Root tea that's sold out. Okay. Can I simply not build it anymore? Sucks. Oh, I can build that. That's all I can do. I really need to make things cheaper. Okay. I should have just used that to build a trading post, to be honest. Where could I have even built a trading post there? It's done. It is done. I can make moves freely. Don't think I can do anything. I can't do anything else. Start of evening, I can move. Right, excellent. So why did the birds use me? Why did the birds... Oh, ho, ho! I'm over here. Okay, that's why. Where do I want to move? This one little fella. But I don't want to move him here. Actually, I'm not going to take that move. But I am going to set my prices. I'm going to... do I make them that cheap? No, they're going to want it. We'll make up my card choice really cheap. We'll see if anyone wants them. Maybe they want some fodder. Maybe they want some fodder. Oof. Okay, so they do the auto moving. Over to the west. Spoke steel. I don't... that name. There's gonna be quite the tussle, and they didn't buy my services. Wow, actually the Woodlands Alliance is really going at it here. Oh wait, what do you mean they're going after me? What do you mean? They're doing it again? These little fuckers. Little rats. Little rat bastards. Okay. Okay, only the Irie bot. Well, actually, okay. There's still time for them people to buy my services. Shit, 24 points. Yeah, I am not doing hot right now. Recruiting office. Recruiting. I'm not playing my machine very well. My mercantile machine. I want to say at least I'm not involved, but it would have been nice if I could have gotten involved. This really sucks again because I haven't gotten enough money, or rather, I don't have the funds to buy a trading post again. I have to adjust my prices. Or I guess. I'm going to draw. Yeah, I'm gonna draw. Oh, no, I didn't want to give them a card. Okay, that's my bad. Can't take that back. Let's see. One of my warriors draw a card. That's kind of cool, but I don't think I can do that. Oh, I can build something. Oh, thank you, birds. We're gonna build a trade post over here. Sweet. Points at last. Okay. Oof. How many... nice do I have? A lot. I'm going to recruit. And where am I going to recruit? Where's there going to be a fight? If I place one right down here, it's gonna hurt. I can't place one there. I really do wonder. How much is it going to hurt me to start placing one? It doesn't cost me a card, does it? Not. I'm also going to recruit down here. Would cost me a bird? Card. That was probably a waste anyway. Let's see how it goes. Do I move in the night? I can actually move him up here for free. Free movement is pretty good for most groups. I feel like I really stole something from the others by doing that. I wonder actually if it should more so be the other way around. Probably should. Let's see. 3. So, I'll move from here to here. That might be the better move. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna remove. I'm gonna move them up here. Remove. And that cost me a card. We'll make them even cheaper. See how this goes. I think I'm too low down for this to matter terribly. Too far down. They don't need my services enough. They hate me. Yeah. That's a lost cause. Should have moved that poor fellow. And they're gonna kill my trading post? They're gonna kill my trading post. Even the mouse is... Even the fox went too far. Don't know if I've seen that nervous expression on the mouse before. Woodland Alliance doesn't need help. Let's see. Dynasty's turn? Yes. Buy more of my stuff. I feel like it would almost be better if I didn't get anything from them. Getting only one feels really pitiful. Feels so pitiful. Cats get it. The cats get it. Okay, code breakers again? Thanks so much. Thanks so much, game. So kind. Okay, I can't build any trading posts because I can only take one action. Only one action. Excellent. But funds using trade posts to craft. A warrior to my payments box. Great, except for the fact that the thing I want to do I can't do because I'm not in control. Unless just looking, is there something I could do? Is there something I could do here? I think I've been thinking a little bit wrong about this. I can, in fact, join in battles. I can, in fact, smash the others down. I just have to be a little bit more careful about it. For instance, can't move. Like, there's nothing. I have four guys here, and I can move freely so I can raise a 5th, and then I can probably put down a new thing here, and it will cost me a car, but who gives a shit? I'm going to actually recruit here. We'll see how far off the beaten, how bad this ends. Okay, so that's 5. We're going to use our free movement. We're going to down here. It's going to cost me a card, a fox card. Is the other option actually would be? We would move up to the roost, actually. I'm going to do that instead. I'm going to move up to the roost area. I keep thinking that this is like the big roost that can't be attacked, but that's more of a cat thing. All the roosts are equal. Just gonna piss the shit out of... Actually... We'll move here. We'll see what happens. Doesn't cost me anything to do that. We're just going to continue this. We'll see if they feel threatened. Do they feel threatened by this? What's going... Oh no. Oh no. Just the gentle tingle, tingle, tingle of the mice scurrying in the background. Yeah, okay. I lost. I hate the resistance so much. That was pathetic. Okay. I think I need to play them a little bit more to get a better feel. But I think I'm going to call it for tonight. Let's see. Yeah, not all of them can be winners. But I don't necessarily know if I enjoy the mercantile group anyway. But it's worthwhile to try and I think learn multiple options. Thank you for being here. You. So tomorrow I'm going to be playing... Witcher again. I'm in the middle of Skellige. I think... I don't know how much longer I'm going to be in Skellige, but I'm going to try and rush it through. I'm going to next time try and stop in a place where I'm not in the middle of a storyline, so I can do some more questing in between. And Sunday I'm going to be doing science fiction short stories. And I hope to hear from people to see what kind of things they might want to hear. Otherwise, you're going to be hearing all of, not necessarily my favorites, science fiction short stories, but a palatable selection, because I looked at some of my favorites and I realized, like, oh, this would be... No, I can't read this on stream. What about that? Nope, I can't read that one either. Kind of, yeah, a lot of the classic ones, it might be a bit of a trouble of, can I read it on stream? And can I physically read it on stream for some of them? Because well, you know, sometimes things go a little sideways and then there are dead cats and dogs and then the tears come out. We'll see. Let's see. It looks like Callie is playing Higurashi. I kind of want to hear that. And you might want to as well. She's been playing through it for the past couple weeks, so... How long actually has she been playing tonight? I wonder. It's a Reina thing, isn't it? I'm going to do a quick check to see. Like, normally she's just about starting now. And given everything else, it kind of looks like she's just starting for the night. Yeah, she's probably just starting. So, I'm going to go to Callie. She's eating watermelon. Okay. And hopefully by Sunday as well, I might have this cough. So, thank you again for coming. So have a good evening.